This mic right here is the Sony ECM-W2BT, and you've probably never heard it before, but the nice thing with this is it goes on top of the multi-interface shoe, so you don't need to use a auxiliary cable to go into the mic jack or anything like that. And in actual fact, this is a wireless mic too. This audio isn't even being recorded into this camera right here, it's being recorded into that camera, right down there.
So this is a few days later now, day after I shot that intro. I woke up with zero voice. I was already a little bit sick when I recorded it, and I guess the shouting back and forth with Garrett just killed my voice. So this is one of the first days I'm actually able to shoot a video again now, and that's why I sound a little bit hoarse. So the big selling feature I think with this is the convenience. That right there is everything you need, both the transmitter and the receiver, connected with this little bit of plastic here, and the fact that you don't need any wires with this to record audio. And that for me is huge. Less steps to have to plug things in, less worry about throwing a camera in and out of a bag and having something plugged in there that could potentially damage the microphone port, because we all know the microphone ports on cameras are they don't take a lot of abuse and they can be broken very easily. Literally just take this piece off, connect it to the multi-interface shoe, turn both of these on, and that's it. You can record audio directly into your video track with nothing else required. Pretty simple and pretty quick. But this mic does come with some issues too, and I wanna let you know what the big one is straight off the hop here, which probably isn't good for this video's retention, but I want you to be able to know whether this is gonna work for you quickly. Now, if you've been around on the channel for a while, you know I like to shoot a lot of videos like this. I'm just walking around, kind of talking to the mic and the camera, and it's very casual and I like it, just something I like to do. But that does mean that this mic is now quite close to my mouth, and with the Rode Wireless Go 2, which is what I'm normally using, I just adjust it on the camera itself and we can get it to a level that we need without worrying about it peaking too much. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna swap to this mic, but first I wanna show you something on the side here. This is your attenuator switch. Hopefully you can see that there. There's three settings, 0, -10, and -20. So now we're gonna swap to this mic right here, and I have the attenuator set to 0. So to this mic, and you're gonna instantly hear the problem, and I can see on the back of the camera, which is recording right here, it's peaking. It's really bad, it's gonna sound terrible. So we're gonna drop this down to -10, and I can see the problem still exists right there. So we're gonna go down now to -20, its final setting, and it's not always peaking, but I can see that now and then it is going red. And you might be thinking, well, that's okay. You can just reduce the levels inside the camera like you can with the Rode Wireless Go 2 or Rode Wireless Go 1. You can't. That's the error you're gonna get on the back there. There is no way to change the levels inside the camera, so you only have those three settings. So if I'm holding the mic up here, even at -20 and I can't adjust the levels on the camera, I might potentially have peaked audio that is peaking. Now obviously if I put it down here where it's technically meant to be, or clipped to a jacket or the top of your top or something like that, I can see it is actually still peaking. And now I'm in a quiet studio environment. If you're outside, it might not be as bad, but there's no way to stop that peaking from happening at all. So that's the main issue that I have with this mic. Now, does the convenience that this poses trump that little issue that might potentially happen now and then, depending on the environment that you're in? It might, but it also might not. That's why I wanted to include this right at the beginning of the video. Now, with all that said and done, this mic does actually have some great features as well, which we're gonna run through now. There's actually an option for making the receiver a mic as well. So what I can do is I can just flip this to receiver, and now I get my mic on the back here, little tiny input right there. You'll see, probably, maybe not, right here, and so I can talk into it and get audio, which would probably just be from the cameraman. So if you were vlogging and showing something or whatever, that's what the mic on the back could be used for. Then you can just change it to the mic on the back to here, and this stops the one on the back working. Or you can actually have a mix, which will mix both of the mics together, so you'll get this and the back on there at the same time. Now obviously this is going to be more of a niche thing, but it's there. I'm here to tell you about it. That's how it works. Now, funnily enough, there is actually a solution to the aforementioned problem before, the big issue that I have with this. When you're using this on the multi-interface shoe, the switch needs to be on digital, and then that's how it works. That's how you receive audio directly into the camera. The middle switch is off, how the unit's turned off, and then on the left, you can actually change it to analog. When it's on analog, there is a port on the side there you can plug a 3.5mm cable into. You plug it into the side of the mic input, and now you can control the levels of this, so you don't have any issues with peaking. Great, the problem's solved. But now the whole convenience of this unit is just out the window, and it's exactly the same as using the Rode Wireless Go 2, so why would I just use this? We're gonna head outside now to do a range test and a comparison with the Rode Wireless Go 2.
Right, so I have both the Rode and the Sony mic on here, and I'm gonna chop and change between both audios. I'm obviously recording into two cameras, 24mm on here, and then the 7200 in crop mode, so you can kind of see how far away I'm actually going. Now the range on the Sony mic is 200 meters, which is 600 feet. Now obviously I can't test that. I'm not going that far down the road because it is a very brisk minus 25 Celsius today. I'm going to be turning around as well, so technically they aren't line of sight right now. Now the Sony mic does in fact work off of Bluetooth. In actual fact, it's a Qualcomm aptX low latency Bluetooth, whereas the Rode is on the 2.4 GHz spectrum. I don't know about either of those to say which is better, but I'm sure Bluetooth might suffer in some situations where there's lots of people. Bluetooth signals, Wi-Fi, said, I don't really know. Yeah, that's really it. They're both still working. I'm not going any further than this. This is about as far as I'd ever need to use these. Right, so cameras are facing this way. I'm going to go in that way, which is behind two doors, off to the camera, so it's not line of sight really anymore when it's behind two doors. And we'll see if they still work. All right, one door closed. Now, oh my God, you know what? More door. I'm going downstairs into the basement, about 12 feet under the house. And yeah, do they both still work? I don't know. I'll find out on the edit. A couple of other little notes which we'll talk about. It does come with this little soft, furry windsock, which I can't really demonstrate because I can't blow and talk at the same time to generate some wind. But it does come with that, and it actually attaches via a little 3.5mm hole on the top right there. So that has a 3.5mm jack on there, which doesn't do anything, and it just goes in. So it actually keeps it in place really well. And yes, you guessed it, you can actually use that 3.5mm jack to plug in any other form of lavalier or audio input whatsoever. So if you're coming out of a DJ's board to send wirelessly to your camera or whatever you want, feed a 3.5mm source into that and it will send it out to the receiver, which goes into your camera. The little plastic connection clip, which is used for putting both pieces together, you can actually use this. It's a very niche situation as well. It's not really gonna be easy for me to demonstrate. Imagine my phone is a table. You could put this on a table. It's that little piece right there, holds the other bit, but it's also designed to hold like that. So you could put it on a table, it's at an angle, and now essentially you could record if you were doing a podcast on the fly or something like that, opposed to it just being flat and the audio is not gonna be great. With it facing up like that, the mic is on the top right there, so it's just gonna be a better setup for doing something like that. A very niche situation, but just a nice smart design there from Sony. In terms of battery life, on the transmitter you get up to 9 hours. That's the on paper, like spec sheet figure. I didn't want to put in 9 hours of testing to see if that's true or not, so take that with a grain of salt. The receiver actually doesn't need to be charged because when it is connected to the top of the multi-interface shoe there, it actually draws its power from the camera. With that said, if you were using a different camera that didn't have a multi-interface shoe, because this will work with anything essentially, like the Rode Wireless Go does, just with Sony, you get the benefit of the multi-interface. You can charge this unit as well. It has its own power built in. However, both of these are unfortunately micro USB. I thought we were on the USB-C train now, but clearly a few things have been left at the station, but we're nearly there. Who is this mic for, and should you buy it over something like, I'm gonna say the Rode Wireless Go 2, not 1, because the 2 is the newer one, it has better features. I'm gonna go back to what I said at the start. The biggest selling feature for this, for me, whether you would want this or not, is gonna be down to its convenience. No cables, less worry about having things plugged in, potentially breaking them. You only need to charge the one unit because this gets its power from the camera. Those are convenient features and they're actually quite important to myself. If you're thinking about using this in analog mode, don't bother with it. Just go and buy the Rode Wireless Go 2. I've done a video up there on it. It's a fantastic system. It has a bunch more features. If you're gonna be using this with a cable, just don't bother with it. To back up that statement even more, Rode actually just came out with a single version of the Rode Wireless Go 2. When you bought the Rode Wireless Go 2 before, it came with 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. Well, now you can get it with 1 transmitter and 1 receiver, and that kit is $30 less than this thing costs. So more features for less money if you're going the cable route. Or for $100 more than this whole setup, you can get 2 of these, and then that just opens a whole door of
other things you can potentially do with this system. Everyone's setup is different. Everyone's scenarios that they're using this kind of thing is different. Ultimately, the decision is up to you. Everyone's setup is different. The way that everyone shoots is different. I can't tell you which one of these systems to buy. I'm just here to share my experiences and tell you how they work and all that kind of thing. So the decision is ultimately up to you, and I hope I helped with that. So that is that. Thank you for watching today. I will see you in the next one. Take care.